right here, okay? Yeah.
So that's a
Here
blue.
comes again, that's a blue. See the modeling?
Beautiful.
Look at the dorsal fin. Might get some flukes here.
This is a great start for this trip, and what we would hope for the most would be blue whales, and they're all over the place. We've been watching blue whales for, oh my gosh, at least 2.5, 3 hours already this morning. Blue whales are hard to find in the world. They're the biggest whale that there is, they're the biggest animal that there is that's ever been. When a blue comes to the surface, the splash guard appears, and then this really forceful
Another blue whale. My.
this huge blow. It's column shaped, it goes up 30 feet. If there's no wind blowing, it just hangs there like campfire smoke.
Real column shaped. What a view. To be able to support that kind of body size, these guys have to feed almost all the time. They're feeding machines.
Krill during the daytime is down about 200 or 300 feet. Whales have to go down to them. And then they go through the krill, then back up to the surface again. So that routine goes on all day, all night. They feed almost continually, as much as they possibly can before they go somewhere else and start feeding all over again. So being able to wake up in the morning to blue whales, that's what you dream about, that's what you hope for, and we really got it as much as we possibly could this morning.
This morning we woke up to total calm seas and activity all over. On every side of the boat there were whale sightings, blue whales specifically.
Here it comes, maybe.
And most impressive was the listening, not just the sights you were seeing, but you could hear air coming out of these blowholes. That was wonderful.
Here it comes.
We have a spectacular sighting for you. First thing in the morning here, there's a blue whale right straight out in front of the ship here. Straight out in front of the ship, there's an area of shiny water, and it was surfacing right in that area. With this group that's here, there's about roughly 2,000 to 3,000 animals, so it's a very viable group of blue whales.
There's only about 7,000 or so in the entire world, and this is the place we can find them at a certain time of the year here in Baja California. And this morning we really were lucky. Blue whales, when they're feeding, are not very deep divers. They usually go to about 300 feet. Krill during the daytime drop down to roughly those areas. That's why they come in here at this time of year, and you can usually tell if they're feeding because they're dropping down, and they drop on the average of about 8 minutes on a dive, where they go through a series of gulps. They come back up to the surface, they take a few breaths, and then usually without traveling they drop or turn maybe 90 degrees or 180 degrees and drop right down to the same place where they were before. So that's what we saw. We first saw feeding when we arrived.
Wow!
On about an 8-minute dive or so. So usually that's the case, but every time a naturalist says that, it's like a 20-minute wait.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
11 o'clock.
Oh, yes.
Oh, rails up at 11 o'clock?
These are our first blue whales of the season for us, and it's quite a treat. We have perfect conditions for whale watching and several whales in different directions.
As maximum measurements in the southern hemisphere, 110 feet would be the maximum
Many of them were hunted off during whaling days, and they have been slow to recover. But this is probably the best place in the world to see blue whales.
It's hard to get the timing.
Oh, wow.
It's not uncommon to see the blue whales with calves in here because this is the best place to feed. Great abundance, great productivity, upwelling currents that bring nutrients to the surface, and then with the sunlight, magic happens. There's food for everyone, including for the largest creature in the world.
We saw blue whale. We saw it. We are very happy. They saw very clean all body.
I just saw a blowhole over there.
Yeah.
Well, this is a significant moment for 2014 on the Endeavour, because we saw a blue whale this morning. We saw a blue whale, and we think maybe we saw 4 blue whales. We certainly saw 4 or 5 whales. We're not sure if they were all blues, but apparently this is not something that happens every year. So we're very, very lucky.
These notches signify the sighting of the whale, and our understanding is that they go all around the cabin for the entire existence of the Endeavour when they see the whales, and we're putting in the first mark for 2014.
You can do it one and you do one.
Whale number 2.
No, same one, same one.
Oh, the same one?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Did you get that?
We see a distant blow, huge blow on the horizon. We're headed that way. It's looking like we have the biggest animal in the world, the blue whale. This is what we're really searching for today, and we have a good chance ahead of us. Off we go. 3 o'clock, so straight ahead. There it is again. Very large whale at 3 o'clock, off to our right.
Wow.
So if you're somewhere not on the bow, you should be on the bow if you want to see a whale. In this area, we're probably talking 60 feet, 70 feet maybe. Southern hemisphere, they used to be bigger, but this is the largest animal in the world. Massive, massive creature. The heart of this animal is the size of a Volkswagen Bug.
It's a huge whale. I've never seen one this big.
Give me.
Right now we're cruising in between the islands of Fernandina and Isabela. This is the Bolivar Canal. These are some of the most productive waters of the Galapagos, and everybody is very excited this morning because we got to see something really interesting, a blue whale, which are not really common in the Galapagos. Right now, at this time of the year, the conditions of the ocean are at its best. A lot of productivity is going on. That means that a big biomass is developing a food chain that can go all the way up to blue whales.
Wow. Incredible. Cool.
So it was incredible, an incredible sighting. Everybody's happy. This is a rare event. For myself, it's really important because maybe I've seen blue whales 3 times in my life. This is the 3rd time, and this is the time I've seen them the closest.
He's right there. So
Can't start a day any better than that.
We're on the 4th day of the trip. This morning we had a beautiful morning up in Magdalena Bay. Got underway around lunchtime, and as we were headed south at Punta Tosca, we ran into a blue whale. So that was amazing. We stuck around with him probably for maybe 45 minutes, something like that, and I got a lot of good looks.
Blue whale, biggest thing that ever lived. Fantastic, they came back.
Straight left or straight ahead?
How long did they stay down?
It's much harder, like out here in the when it's rough. You don't spot them as quickly or as easily. But as far as tracking them, yeah, you just can't go too fast. You gotta slow down to like, usually they travel at like 3 knots, 2 or 3 knots. You just kind of gotta match their speed or stay with them.
Going down a little bit there.
Nothing could really prepare you to see a big blue whale up close and personal. It's massive, it's really huge. The tongue is heavier than a full-grown African elephant. The mother's milk is so rich in fat that the baby blue whale gains about 200 pounds of weight every 24 hours. That sounds like a Limblad trip to me, but it's, you need to be careful. But it's a massive, massive animal, really impressive creature.
The 2009 story called Still Blue in Geographic, we went out to try and photograph these underwater. We went 500 miles off Costa Rica for a month. Rough water for a long time. In that month, I spent 20 minutes in the water. I got 3 publishable pictures. They're all in the same minute on the same dive. So you put a month in for 1 minute of seeing these guys underwater, and it was considered a big success.
We have beautiful conditions out here, which is easy, makes it easy to find whales, and we're really privileged and lucky to see this animal, the largest creature on Earth. It's been hunted a lot for a long time. We're starting to see them more in Svalbard. The last 5 years or so, we're seeing blue whales up here, and we don't know where they go. In the wintertime, somewhere south in the ocean, and it's great to see that this animal might be making a comeback after a long history with humans hunting it.
Oh my god. Oh, look at the
Oh my god.
Mouth is open.
Oh my god.
Beauty, beauty. It's a tail.
Oh.
We just saw a blue whale, and it was close to the surface. You could see the entire whale. You could see his tail. It was unbelievable.